And welcome once again to another episode of Stu Him Productions Presents
J&M Solve the World. I'm James.
And I am Matt. And tonight we are going to review or give our review of the recent Anthrax Black Label show in Kansas City on August 2nd.
August 2nd. Just as we record this about 4 nights ago.
Yeah.
We planned on doing a review at the hotel after the show.
That didn't happen.
That didn't happen because, well, neither one of us had a voice.
We're working stiffs, so we had worked that day, and we had to work the next day.
Yeah,
so
I had to travel, 158 miles?
Yeah.
Back to work the next day.
I had to go 2 blocks.
And I had to put an inner and outer rear body panel in a friggin' Jeep. So, yeah, I had a long day.
That sounds not fun.
Yeah, it worked out pretty good, but got home, ate supper.
Yeah.
Went to the bedroom. I was going to watch some wrestling I had recorded. Might have watched 2 matches. Then I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and went to bed.
Yeah. Well, speaking of fun, so we get to the venue at 3:30, like we're supposed to,
Right.
Because we went and we met Black Label. Oh, and you might be able to see the Doom Crew Incorporated flag back there.
With all their signatures on it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Now, the best part about the whole thing, other than getting out of the fucking heat into the air conditioning,
Right.
and I will say this, I mean, granted, first time I'd ever been backstage to a meet and greet like that,
Right.
but Zach came up and shook your hand and introduced you to
shook your hand. He gave you a hug.
Yeah, it introduced you to all the members of the band.
Right. That was, I've never been to a meet and greet, but I've been to several deals. And the crews usually just treat you like shit. Like, you got to go here. You got to be here and everything. I got to say, these guys were fucking professionals. They treated us like human beings.
Yeah.
And then actually meeting Zach and the band, those guys, they couldn't have been nicer.
Right.
I mean, it was... You always worry about meeting your idols and, people you respect or whatever.
Never meet your heroes.
Right, because they might be a prick. But these guys were just really nice guys and made you feel like they appreciated you. I mean, they should. We paid an extra $100 to see them,
Right. Well, and that's the thing is, and here all this time I thought I was short.
Yeah.
I mean, JD is like he was armpit level.
Right.
Like, damn.
Yep.
I think my daughter is taller than he is.
No wonder that bass looks so fucking big on him.
Yeah, no kidding. But I mean, it was amazing. Not only did we get the pictures that they took, but we were allowed to take pictures ourselves. Which, again, fucking awesome. Okay, now this will tell you just how kick-ass the road crew was. After we did the meet and greet, we got our photo, and if you go to Zach Wild's Instagram, there's a little reel on there for the Kansas City chapter, and you hear the 1, 2, 3. Kansas City chapter. Well, if you look at the photo, you'll see a red t-shirt in the back. Now, let me see here. As you're looking at the photo, to the left of the photo is James.
Right.
Right next to Zach Wild is this guy.
Yeah. I wondered where you got that from because I looked on the card that they gave us on the website and I never did find that video.
I saw it on his Instagram and I sent it to your daughter, and I'm like, hey, show this to your pa.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fucking great. But anyways, we got first crack at the merch booth. Went down there. We got the flag. We also got signed posters, but that was part of the package. And I had left my signed poster. I had bought a T-shirt, got the flag, and we were headed back to the hotel to drop the stuff off because we still had a couple hours to kill. In the Uber back to the hotel, I happen to look down and I see James's poster, and I'm like, son of a bitch. And I
thought he had shit himself. I didn't know what was going on. No.
I had forgot the poster somewhere. Fast forward, we get back to the venue, get inside. I walk up to the merch booth and I'm like, hey guy, I was part of the meet and greet and I still had my wristband on. And I'm like, I left my poster on the table. I'd bought a flag, a T-shirt, yada, yada. And he's like, I got you. I'm like, oh my God, thank God. Yeah. And he's like, do you want it now? Do you want me to hang on to it? I can put your name on it. And I'm like, dude, if you can hang on to it, that'd be fucking amazing. Yeah. And sure enough, little piece of paper had my name on it. And I picked it up after the show and it was, oh my God.
Well, I thought it was cool, as he told you, he said, when you come up here after the show, he said, don't stand in line, just come up and say, hey, I'm here for my poster.
Yeah. Because that was great.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
Oh, it's our cohort in crime.
Oh.
Hang on, I'll tell him, I'll call him back.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, you got your headphones on.
Can I call you back? We're right in the middle of a podcast. Okay. Nope. No problem. Say hi, Andy.
Hi.
There you go.
There you go. Okay.
All right.
We'll see. Are you going out?
No, that's what I was going to call you about, but I'll call you about it later.
Okay. Yeah, call me in about 30 minutes or so.
Okie dokie.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, see, now that shit wouldn't happen on a more professional podcast, but we're not professionals because we ain't getting paid.
I ain't seen no checks yet, so.
Yeah, right?
Let me turn this down.
All right.
Oh, there we go.
But I mean, first time seeing Hatebreed.
Yeah.
I thought they were pretty cool. Had a pretty decent show.
I really liked the music. There was a little screamy for me. I mean, it's come from a Pantera fan or whatever, but I like a guy that can scream and can sing, But if I'd listened to them, I think I listened to one of their albums a week ago on Amazon or something like that. And the bummer thing about it, my old earbuds that I've had for years, the left side quit working. So listening to music kind of sucks with one side.
Yeah.
Because you don't get the guitar solos or whatever. But anyway, if I'd have listened to them more, and knew the songs a little bit, I probably would have enjoyed them more. But they put on a good show. I mean, they got the circle pit going, and
which, by the way, if anybody watching who's ever seen a show at the Midland, or if you ever desire to go see a show at the Midland, know that down on the floor there are rails.
Yeah.
There's 3 tiers on the floor and they're rails. And how they got a circle pit going with rails is beyond me.
Yeah.
But nobody got hurt, which was fucking awesome.
Yeah. And what was cool, he's like, get the pit going, but he's like, if anybody falls, make sure you pick them up.
Yep.
And he did say he would pay for knee surgeries, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Now, I will say this about Hatebreed. They were the only ones that I saw that actually had a Kansas City specific shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, it had the Royals, the crown on the front. Then on the back, it had the big Hatebreed going across the shoulders. And then it had the Royals stuff on the back, and which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. I wonder if they do that for every town that's got a Major League Baseball team, or
I don't know. That'd
be kind of interested to check in and see. If they went to St. Louis, if they had a Cardinal shirt.
Ooh.
Or if they went to Chicago, well, they'd probably wipe their ass on that. At least Cardinal fans would.
Depends on which side of town you're on.
That's true.
South side or north side.
Yeah.
Or east side, west side. But I don't know. I don't give a shit.
I think it's north and south, isn't it?
Probably.
South side of Chicago is the baddest place in town.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
Yeah. Of course, I knew Black Label was going to play in this river.
Yeah.
Or in the river. In this river.
In this river, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. But I mean that's been a staple in a Black Label show since December 2004.
Right.
You know, they had the banners come down over the amps, and one side was Dime and one side was Vinny.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You know, I knew that song it was basically dedicated to Dime, but when they dropped the two banners and one was Vinny and the other was Dime, I was like, man, that's awesome.
Well, and you know,
and the fact that they carry that big ass piano around to play one song.
Yes.
And then, well, they play one song, and then during the dueling guitar solos, Zach stands on the piano.
Oh yeah.
It lets his guitar player stand on his
little stage
out there
yeah.
in the middle.
But I mean, here's the cool thing about that song. That song was written, the album was finished before Dime was killed.
Right.
Dime heard the album. Of course, Zach played it for Dime. And Dime loved that song.
Yeah.
So it wasn't written about Dime.
No.
But after Dime was killed, the video became about Zach and Dime.
Right.
And this song was played at Dime's enshrinement at Guitar Walk of Fame in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
Rita was there. It was Rita, Vinny, Jerry, Vinny and Dime's dad, and then of course Zach had his piano and he played the song.
Right.
And every time Zach has ever played that song, an image of Dime has always come up.
Right.
I thought it was awesome that Jamie Jasta, lead singer for Hatebreed, actually mentioned, you know, he's on tour right now with half of Pantera.
Right.
And
what is it? He said Zach called him and said, "Do you want to go on tour with half of Pantera?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Fuck yeah!" Which,
I mean, who wouldn't?
yeah. Of course, for those of you who don't know what they mean by half of Pantera, is Zach and Charlie from Anthrax are going to be the guitar player and drummer for Pantera next year.
Now, whether it's a tribute or celebration,
whatever. Yeah.
Right.
They're still saying there's going to be no new Pantera music. They're not going to. I mean, they're just going to do this tour.
Yeah.
And whether it's a one-off or not, but they're saying right now there's no intentions of writing any new Pantera stuff. But
yeah,
that's what they're saying now.
I know the promoter is the promotion company promotes a lot of the festivals. Welcome to Rockville, Rocklahoma, and everything. So I mean, yeah, more likely, you know, you'll see Pantera on those bills.
Right.
But I'm really hoping that they tour.
Right. Well, they're supposed to. I think.
Yeah.
What they said they're going to do festivals and then some headlining shows.
Right.
You know.
Because I listened to a thing by Eddie Trunk today about that Pantera thing, just to, real quickly, and he was talking about how one day Billboard broke the news and they had talked about it, and there was speculation on who the guitar player and who the drummer was going to be, and then the very next day it was released by the camp that Zach would play guitar and Charlie would play drums.
Right.
So, you know, I'm excited about that. Yeah. But back to the Anthrax Black Label show.
Right.
I thought Black Label's I mean, first time ever seeing Black Label.
And Zach back in 2000 with Ozzy.
Yep. Ozfest. It was 2000 or 99.
It was 2000 when I seen him in Kansas City.
Yeah. Because when I went to Ozfest, Pantera played before Ozzy.
That's the one I seen. It was
okay.
The last three was Godsmack, Pantera, and Ozzy.
Okay.
Yep.
And right before Godsmack, Black Label played, but on the second stage at the same time was Disturbed.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see Disturbed,
right?
Because they were the new.
See, that was weird in Kansas City that none of the bands played at the same time. They alternated from the second stage that was basically in the parking lot,
Yep,
to the main stage, and that gave the crews time to tear down the sets and set up. But then, like I say, the last 3 was all on the main stage, and they played one right after the other.
Right.
They wasn't playing, because I think Disturbed in Kansas City, they played, it was early in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And it was hotter than fuck. And
Yeah.
you know, we had just kind of discovered Disturbed at the time. You know, they just had The Sickness, I think, was their only record at the time.
Yeah.
And Ann was getting a little too hot. And so we found some shade and got something cold to drink or whatever. And we're sitting there. And of course, a joint got passed around.
What?
But
Marijuana at a rock show?
yeah, back when it was illegal. Everywhere.
Like it was fucking strong as shit at the Midland.
Wasn't it though?
Oh my god!
It's like, I didn't think we could smoke in here. What the fuck?
Right?
I think that's maybe why we couldn't perform a podcast after the show. We might have been a little contact buzzy there. Maybe.
Could have been, or it could have been those $40 drinks.
No shit. Jesus Christ. We were talking about that. How do you get drunk at a show like that? Unless you take like $1,000 with you, because I bought the Jameson,
Yeah.
but ordered a double shot because I wanted to taste it, and boy, hooked me up now.
Yeah, I did.
That was a
Yeah, I
good
did.
drink. Got you the Crown and cranberry,
Yep.
and then 2 bottles of water. $39.
I got us. I got a beer, and then you got a Modelo's,
Modelo's, yeah,
and that was almost $30.
yeah, for 2 beers.
And it's just like, son of a bitch.
Well, it's like the guy from Hatebreed. He said, you know, he was laughing because somebody had got their beer knocked out of their head. He goes, well, it's not a Black Label show until the first $20 beer hits the ground.
Right?
And I thought he's kidding, but nah, he wasn't kidding.
No.
We should have drank more before we went.
Well, I was thinking about it, but I also knew that I didn't want to leave a bottle of liquor in my vehicle all day
Yeah,
in that heat.
I should have brought one up because I wasn't, you know, I could have brought one up and you know, it wouldn't have been in
Yeah.
the car. You know, I could have took it in because when I got to work that morning, I took my clothes in with me because I wasn't going to let my clothes sit out there and get hot as fuck.
Yeah.
So I took my clothes in the shop, and then I could have brought a bottle. Didn't even think about it, but oh well.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll know for next time. Of course,
Yeah.
those steps probably didn't want to be too drunk anyway.
no. Black Label show was fucking awesome. But for me, being a big Anthrax fan, you know, they have been and will always be my favorite of the big 4. First time I got to see Anthrax with Joey, and you know, I know more Anthrax songs than I do Black Labels. I mean, I was singing right along with them, and I just, you know, it was fucking awesome. I love the part during the course of "I Am the Law" and the. The
lights.
strobes start flashing red and blue like a police car, which,
You know, there were some people in the audience go, "What the fuck?
oh shit!
Hope I don't see them later tonight."
I love the fact that they're playing only from Sound of White Noise, the first John Bush album.
And I thought Joey done a hell of a job on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was wondering because his vocal stylings are quite a bit different than John's, but yeah, he did a killer job on it. You know, I mean,
Joey hasn't lost. I mean, it's like his voice has gotten better.
yeah,
And I mean, during the years that he was away from Pantera, the years that he was away
Pantera
from
on mine,
Anthrax, because he's a drummer, and he's in a cover band. He plays drums and he sings. They do a lot of Journey. You know, they do a lot of like singing vocal stuff to where he is singing.
right.
And yeah, I mean, there's small gigs, but still, he's playing drums and he's singing.
Right.
You know, not too many people can play drums like that and sing.
Phil Collins,
Don Henley.
Don Henley, yeah, not I mean, it's not a long list.
Yeah. And even Phil, when he gets into like, you know, a lot of the vocally more stuff that he sang, he wasn't on the drum kit.
Right. Well, especially when he went solo and everything. A lot of, I mean, he was out front singing. Had a drummer.
Yeah. And then, I mean, Sheena Easton, she plays drums and sings, but she's not sitting behind a kit.
Right.
So, but I mean, she is a badass fucking drummer.
Right.
But you know, just to hear Joey hit those notes still, and you know, John.
There was a guy on YouTube the other day criticizing Bon Jovi for tuning down a half step because John can't hit the vocals anymore. Well, Joey still hit the vocals that he hit in 1987.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was still right there. So,
You know, and the only member on that stage that's not an original member that I grew up on with Anthrax was Jonathan Donis. First time I saw him, he played with Shadows Fall, Boston band.
right.
Or Boston, and he's fucking phenomenal. He's always been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he has approached playing Dan Spitz's solos. He plays homage to him, but he plays his own
Right.
because he doesn't like playing other people's solos.
Right. See, I use that as an excuse to not learn solos. I'm going to start it about the same. I'm going to end it about the same, but I'm going to try to make it mine in the middle.
Yeah, and you know, and that's what you got to do.
But and a lot of times too, you can even go see a show, and you've got the solo in your head from listening to the recording over and over and over again, and they're playing it, and you're like, going, wait a second, he changed that a little bit.
Yeah.
But why not? I mean,
It's So Easy by Guns N' Roses. They've been playing the live version here a lot lately from the Not in This Lifetime tour.
okay.
And Slash is not playing the solo the way that he recorded it.
Right.
And I mean, you know, when you get to a certain point, sure, I got it. There was that fan that got up on stage with Metallica and started playing a song that Kirk could not remember how to play.
Right.
But, you know, when you've got a catalog that spans 40 years, 42 years, you know, 40 years or so. And
Well, when you only got one CD and you haven't played it in 20 years, we had to relearn our shit.
and even then,
Yeah.
it wasn't 100%.
We're
But
like, what did we do here? What the
right.
fuck?
Well, okay, but at the same time, had we had the time like a band has gearing up for a tour
Oh, yeah.
to go back and relearn everything.
Right. If we'd have had more than once or twice a month to get together,
Yeah.
if we'd have had, you know, like we used to practice back in the day,
Yeah.
we had band practice 2 days a week,
Right.
and then you tried to do whatever on your own and then come back into band practice. And
Right. But we were also a lot closer to each other.
oh, yeah.
And hey, you know, I got nothing going on tonight. You want to practice? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll meet you out there.
I mean, the farthest away was Bolivar when Pip was in the band, because Buffalo's a little bit closer than Bolivar.
When Chris and I lived in Lebanon.
Well, that's right. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when I moved to Springfield.
Right.
But that's no excuse. I lived in Kansas City and I still made it down for band practice.
That's right.
What's up?
Made it to a show in Branson, then had to go back. No, that's right. You lived in Lebanon then, but you had a funeral to go to.
Yeah, that was
Way
actually
the fuck
after
off.
the
Yeah.
Vixen show.
Yeah.
I left Branson, made it to Chris and I's apartment in Lebanon, showered, packed a bag, and I was on my way to Central Illinois.
It was the Metal Monday shows that you came down from Kansas City.
Yep.
Yep. And
Yeah.
played.
A Monday night to make like $20,
Yeah.
which at the time was more than enough gas money.
Oh, yeah. It can get you to Harrisonville now. Maybe.
Yeah, I paid $3.54 yesterday when I filled up the truck.
I paid $3.51 in Harrisonville on my way home.
Yeah.
Wednesday. Because it was funny. I'm like, yeah, I know I'm not getting back to Clinton because Clinton. I mean, I could have got back home
Yeah.
because I was at half a tank, but I was fucking hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I'd filled up my water jug and everything, but I was hungry.
So much for the acoustics.
Yeah, I just wanted to get out of the city.
Yeah.
And then I'm coming down to Harrisville. I see Love's truck stop with the McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
And gas was $3.51. I'm going, I got half tank. I'm topping off and get me a McGriddle.
It was fucking amazing.
It's amazing.
They sounded great. You know, they started going in to Bring the Noise, which, you know, Scott did the first couple of lines, and then they went into another song. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Would have loved to have heard I Am the Man.
Yeah. I don't know the last time they even played that song live.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Because that's the first time you heard Joey on the drum kit.
That's right.
Because he plays drums on that.
Right.
And then when they did the Bring the Noise video with Public Enemy, at the end of the video, it shows like Charlie on the kit, and then Joey on the kit, and then Charlie on the kit, and then Joey on the kit. But yeah, on the I'm the Man, Joey played drums. Dan Spitz, of course, played guitar, but then Scott, Frank, and Charlie all sang.
Right. Yeah.
They did.
They rapped.
Yeah.
Was that the first metal rap song?
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't, it had to have been one of the very first.
I'm going to say the first rap song that a metal band did.
I mean, they wrote that song.
Yes, they did.
That wasn't a rap song that they
Nope.
covered.
Nope.
It wasn't like...
Five Finger Death Punch and Mama Said Knock You Out.
Right.
With Tech Nine. What up?
Or, you know, even back then, you know, you had Run DMC do...
Walk This Way.
Walk This Way.
Yep.
But as far as writing a rap song, I think Anthrax was the first metal band to write a rap song.
Right. Because even the Beastie Boys were more punk.
Right.
And you didn't hear it on License to Ill, but on Paul's Boutique, their second album, and then everything after that, you did they did pick up their instruments and they did play. But yeah, they were a punk band that decided, you know, they New York kids, heavy influence with Run DMC and LL Cool J, and you know the African Bombata and all those New York rap bands or groups, if you will.
But even the Beastie Boys, they were more of a stand on my cord. They were more of a what you'd call a hip hop band at the time, kind of hip hop ish.
Well, and that's what a lot of them they consider themselves hip hop because it wasn't. I mean, if I don't want to go deep dive into this, but what I consider rap, Ice Cube, NWA, Ice-T, Public Enemy, you know, what I consider hip hop, Beastie Boys, LL Cool J, Run DMC, you know, groups that you could dance to, if you will.
Okay.
They had that, I don't want to say that heavy bass beat to it, but it had a groove to it. I mean, fuck, Run DMC were using metal albums, rock albums for samples. You know, Digital Underground. Those guys in San Francisco, I mean, those guys played music.
Of course.
And they were heavily influenced with funk.
Was it Beastie Boys Sabotage? That, you know, they've used that on the Star Trek, the newer Star Trek movies, and that's damn near metal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's got that good, just
yeah. And it's funny. We'll segue back into a New York band, the only East Coast Big Four band, Anthrax.
Right.
You know, and anybody that says that bands nowadays have to have a backing track when it comes to vocals, you can go fuck yourself. You watch an Anthrax show, Frankie Bello is all over that stage. He is everywhere, but he still hits those harmonies with Joey.
Yep.
His voice is still fucking spot on.
I'm watching them guys run around, especially Scott and Frankie both, and I'm going, Guys, you're almost 60. What the fuck are you doing here? You know?
Well, now,
But I mean, you know, they're in shape. They're still doing it. You know?
yeah, Frankie's a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Because Charlie, his uncle, there's like 2 or 3 years difference between them.
Right.
But they grew up together, so they
Kinda like Chris
feel
and I.
right. They feel more like brothers than uncle and nephew.
Right. I mean, there's a little bit bigger age difference between Chris and I. It's like 7 years,
Yeah.
7.5 years. But,
Forget about it.
but you know, there was 15 years between me and his dad. So
Right,
who did I feel more like a brother with?
right,
Chris. I mean,
Right.
Because I watched him grow up from the time he was a baby, you know.
and that's like my brothers.
Mhm.
You know, my older brother and my younger brother aren't really as close as my younger brother and I, or my older brother and I, because I'm right in the middle.
Yeah.
Even though we're all part of the same generation,
Mhm.
we're all Gen Xers.
Right.
I just,
See, where I'm not with my brothers,
yeah,
they're both boomers,
boomers.
but I'm an Xer. So, in fact, Herbie's an early boomer.
Oh, he's
1947.
almost part of that greatest generation.
Well, he was born to a member of the greatest generation.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Well, our my parents were as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, but that just makes sense. Okay, so to recap, to bring it around full circle, Anthrax, fucking awesome.
Awesome.
Black Label, fucking awesome.
awesome.
Hatebreed, pretty damn cool.
Pretty damn cool. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I've got to start listening to some more Hatebreed, and you know, like I say, I was just unfamiliar with their
Right.
music, but you had to listen.
Yeah.
Because you had no choice. I mean, they're in your face. It was good, you know. And
That might be
of course, I could say they suck, and then that way, our friend Dwight would have to pay the tab.
Ooh.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said if they suck, then I'll pay the tab. So yeah, they sucked.
Yeah,
They sucked.
yeah, hell yeah.
Dwight, they sucked. No, no, they were good. Don't know if my wife would have enjoyed them, but she would, you know.
No. No, I'm pretty sure Ann would have been like, "What the fuck is this?"
Shit, yeah. But you know, when we went and seen, it was Hailstorm Within This Moment.
Mm-hmm.
I went and got us drinks after the first band played, and I was coming back, and In This Moment was coming out, and their music was starting, and I was trying to get back to my seat, and they were playing their first song, and she's just sitting there just looking. She's kind of doing that dog thing where she's cocking her head, and I'm like, what are you thinking? And she goes, I'm trying to figure out if she's a white witch or a black witch. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, so what do you think? She goes, I like it. I'm like, okay, cool. Because I wasn't sure if she'd like, I knew she was, we'd seen Hailstorm before.
Yeah.
I knew she was going to enjoy that. But I wasn't sure how she would take In This Moment. But yeah, she enjoyed it. So
Good.
That's another band we can talk about on what we was on stage show.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, we'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and give this out. The next After Dark is going to be about stage show versus stage presence.
Yeah.
So this one's going to be good. Possibly a couple of maybe 1 or 2 special guests. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. But you know that conclude. I think we're good there.
I think
with the review,
as a total review, thumbs up.
2 thumbs up and a swing.
We would recommend if Anthrax and Black Label's coming to your town or somewhere within a couple 100 miles, go see it. It's worth the money.
We ran into a couple from Omaha, Nebraska.
Actually, I'm friends with them now on Facebook. I think they actually live somewhere else.
Oh.
I mean, they live up in Nebraska somewhere. He said, I'm from California, and she drugged me out here. You know, I'm like, well, But no, in fact, they both messaged me and everything, you know. And
Nice.
yeah, it's cool. They were. It was kind of funny. We met them in line for the meet and greet, and I've got this bad problem. I'll talk to fucking anybody. I don't care. That's how you meet people,
Right?
You know. And we just got talking. He had his guitar with him for Zach to sign. I was like, so what you got there? And he told me, I can't remember what model it was, but
It was a Wild Audio.
yeah, it was a Wild Audio. But anyway, we got talking and everything, and they just kind of latched on to us.
Which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, they're like, where are you guys sitting? Well, we're up in the balcony, you know, like, well, we're going to come up here with you. Okay.
Yeah, we walked up there, and the lady, because I had our tickets on my phone, she looked at the tickets, and she's like, oh, yeah, you guys are right over there. Never asked them or anything, never asked him for anything, and it was just, yeah, we got up there and sat down, and it was like, this is fucking badass.
I'm trying to find this. Steven and Melissa, is that right?
I know the Melissa.
Steven's his name. I do know that.
Okay, then
So
yeah,
it is
then it's
Steven and
Melissa.
So
Yeah.
shout out to Steven and Melissa because she knows how to find this podcast. So hopefully they've checked it out.
Hell yeah.
If not, I'll message her. Have you checked out our podcast yet? Because on the review of the Anthrax show, your names are mentioned. So shout out to you guys. Glad we got to meet you. It was a good time.
But until next time,
I'm James.
and I am Matt, and you've just listened to another episode of Stu Him Productions Presents.
J&M, solve the world.
Until next time,
Peace out.
keep one foot in the gutter and one fist in the gold.
One fist in the gold. That's
All
it.
right. We'll see you guys.